Luis Alberto de Viana Moniz Bandeira was born on 30 December 1935, Salvador, Bahia, Brazil, and died on 10 November 2017. He was a Brazilian writer, professor, political scientist, historian and poet. Luis Alberto de Viana Moniz Bandeira is a descendant of the early settlers of Brazil. Several times, the Casa de Ita, House of the Tower, family in particular, Garcia Davila descendants family. Moniz Bandeira's work O Furdo, a Casa de Ita de Garcia Davila describes the history of the Casa de Ita throughout the centuries, from the 16th century to the independence of Brazil. He is also a descendant of Dago Alves Correa, the Caramuru, famous colonizer of Brazil. Bandeira started writing poems at an early age. His first book, Verticais, was published in 1956 when he was 20 years old. In 1960, he published another, Retrato e Tempo. While in law school, Bandeira worked for newspapers in Rio de Janeiro such as Correio da Manhã and Diário de Notícias, and participated in political life as a socialist militant linked to the Brazilian Labour Party. When the 1964 coup d'etat overthrew President João Goulart, Bandeira fled into exile in Uruguay. He returned to Brazil some years later and led a clandestine life. Needed, continuing his historical research and writing, while participating in the resistance against the military regime. He was subsequently arrested by the Brazilian Navy and spent 2 years as a political prisoner after being freed at the end of 1973. Bandeira went back to São Paulo, where he became professor at the Escola de Sociologia e Política de São Paulo. In 1976, he received grants from, among other institutions, the Ford Foundation, to conduct research in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay on Brazil's historical role in the Rio de la Plata Basin. From 1977 through 1979, he extended this research project to the United States and Europe, thanks to a postdoctoral fellowship awarded by the Social Science Research Council and the Joint Committee on Latin America Studies of the American Council of Learned Societies in New York. Bandeira graduated in juridical sciences, and also holds a Ph.D. in political science from the University of São Paulo. He held the chair of History of Brazilian Foreign Policy in the Department of History at the University of Brasília. He was awarded the Duque Pato Prize and named as Brazilian Intellectual of 2005 for the book Formação do Império Americano, da Guerra contra a Espanha no Iraq. This work has been referred to as perhaps the most comprehensive account of U.S. undiplomatic history, its domestic economic and political underpinnings and its unacknowledged outcomes, to appear since the publication in 1979 of the Noam Chomsky and Edward Herman 2-volume edition of The Political Economy of Human Rights by political scientist Jan K. Black, of the Monterey Institute of International Studies. He was subsequently awarded an honorary doctorate by Unibrasil in Curitiba. Bandeira has been invited to lecture in many countries around the world. He was an undersecretary in Rio de Janeiro state government, being its representative in the federal capital, Brasília from 1991 through 1994 and a cultural attaché at the Consulate General of Brazil in Frankfurt am Main from 1996 through 2002. Bandeira has been awarded the Cross of Merit by Germany. Bandeira died on 10 November 2017 at the age of 81.